Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to the first ever ParaSlam. So just say hello to a few people first, starting from the beginning on here. Hi, Sarah Becks. Hi, John Williams. Hi, Melissa Flores Grimmer. Hi, my dad. Hi, Christina. Hi, Sherry. And hi, Ant-Man Morris. So basically, ParaSlam. What we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of a chin wag about with regards to different things within the paranormal, equipment, ways of doing things, etc., etc. So, and well, tonight I've got somebody who's going to be coming on with me, who some of you may know is Drew from Paranormal Postmortem.
Hey guys.
Hi. Also, what we're going to do as well, if anybody wants to come on and actually have a chat with us directly face to face, if you have anything you want to discuss, please, we've got the links I've just posted. So what I'm going to do is, if I can I pin these? I don't know if I can pin them. So there you go. So if anybody sees it there, you see I've just posted those there. So if anybody wants to come on and have a watch of the, well, have a chat with us on the live, discuss bits and pieces, you can come into the studio and on the live itself and have a chinwag. So I'm going to start things off. And with regards to equipment, I don't know if Drew, if you agree with this, but one of the things I get very, very frustrated with when I watch other people's lives, especially, is people. Excuse me one second, Drew. Ant-Man, if you you need to go on to on your phone, you can do it. If you've got an iPhone, if you go on to Safari. Chrome doesn't really like it for some reason. You can do it, I believe, on Chrome on Android, though. So
Android's really better. I got it for this.
It works. Yeah, iPhone, it works fine. I was on it the other day. I'll be on it again on Thursday on an interview. So
I'm not sure I understand.
Excuse me a second. Siri talking to me there. So just going back to what I was saying with regards to voice recorders, for one thing, I find EVPs, I find it very frustrating that people call it doing an EVP when it's not really doing an EVP, is it? It seems to me like people don't seem to understand that what you're holding in your hand is a voice recorder, is it not?
And it actually is a voice recorder.
That's
I agree 100% with you.
The thing is, you record an impression onto the voice recorder, and if you capture a voice or some sort on that or something on that, that is your EVP. It's not even your voices or anything on there that of yourself or anybody else or equipment going off that is the EVP. It's if you capture something that is not, that can't be explained. That's the paranormal side, the paranormal bit. And I just find it very, very, very frustrating. People call it, we're doing an EVP, or the device they've got in their hand, they're actually calling it the EVP. Instead of saying,
but the device, a lot of people use the word EVP because they think it's a word for paranormal. I hate it sometimes. I say to my wife, I said, why can we not just call it just a recorder, like on our mobiles? Simple as when you're recording the same thing as what you do as an EVP as a recorder. EVP was just only made up for the actual how do you pronounce it again now, Teal? An voice electronic
voice phenomena.
Yeah. And that's
it. But then they don't actually realize as well that if it's a voice as such that's heard, if they hear it themselves, it's a voice phenomenon. It's not even an EVP.
Yeah, it's just a voice phenomenon. That is the major thing. If one move, believe it or not, this is why I said to my wife, when we go out to investigation, I went out with a few paranormal teams, and the one hard thing paranormal teams hate is when you move, when you're doing one with electronic equipment, is when you move. Anything can catch, even a single sound of a drip can get catched on a recorder. And personally, it does my head in when people use the word EVP, because you're really not catching anything just but the sound of phenomenal. I can't usually say it, and this is bad training today.
You're capturing the phenomena on an audio device. That's what it is, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's the thing, though. See, there's a big difference between voice phenomena, between electronic voice phenomena, you know, and just capturing something on a voice recorder. There's a massive difference in that respect.
It is a massive difference.
And I also find that one of the biggest bugbears there as well is there's these voice recorders you can get, these Panasonic ones, and everybody absolutely loves them. They go for thousands of pounds on eBay. But
I think it's ridiculous, though. They shouldn't be going for £1,000 because they're voice recording. You can easily simply do a voice recorder on your mobile. I know a lot of people's got different minds about it, but again, you don't have to spend £1,000. Look at Ed Warren. He used a simple tape recorder way back, years many back, wherefore EVPs actually on your mobiles were created, and it was cotton tape.
Yeah,
and a lot of things I prefer back in the olden days because it's national. You can't edit much of it.
Yeah.
And then back in them days, you only can press record and get it done properly that way. If you get where I'm coming from.
One of the biggest problems with this Panasonic one is that it was well known for recording its own workings, and that's what. And for some reason, people used to always think that it was paranormal when actually it was just actually recording its own workings. So Ant-Man Morris says, he says, I've noticed with a lot of investigations where they tap and make noises themselves when the camera is turned off. But then he's followed that up with, but I love your work and love watching it. Thank you very much, Ant-Man. That's very much appreciated. And
that's a full respect to you, Dan. Full respect.
Well, you know, the thing is, the way I look at it, Drew, right, is that oh, by the way, if anybody doesn't know, this is actually Drew. His name's not Paranormal Postmortem. His mother actually did like him enough to give him a name. He doesn't use it though. His name's Drew. So I've even lost my train of thought then. But yeah, the thing is that no matter what, my page has only got to what it is because of the people who watch it. So I might only have 8 people on at the moment watching, but those 8 people come on, they watch the streams, and then the people follow it from there, and the page would be nothing without them. So
it's the same like mine. When they watch ours, it's them who does all the work. I basically say when they shout us out and go crazy. So it's the same here, buddy.
That's it. So, just to clarify for everybody, though, one of the things we aren't doing on here is not anything to do with berating groups or people directly on this. We're just going to be talking about things that frustrate us in the field as such. So, it's not about any specific teams or people or anything. It's just purely about different things. So, hi, Leo Mark. Hi, Gareth Brennan. But Gareth, one of the things I'm not going to bring up your comment just because I know it's what you're on about, but yeah, I mean, obviously some people would rub the finger under the recorder and or shuffle the feet, things like that, he's saying. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what you think, but I mean, to me, the biggest frustration is in this instance with regards to EVPs, it's very much similar to my brain's my train of thought's even just gone then as well. I keep hearing things in the background with me. My computer's making noises. But yeah, what I'm finding is that a lot of people don't seem to understand the terminologies. So EVP, they don't understand what is the EVP. They don't seem to understand what is pareidolia. They don't seem to understand what are most of the things that you see flying around on the screen. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. No, we get a lot of like I said, I had backwards back and forth. As you know, we used to work it down, didn't we? Paradoria and EVPs. At one point, I will admit this on the live, I did thought at one point my pictures were very interesting there, and I found out Paradoria, studied Paradoria. I have to listen, learn it. You send me a few links as well. People like show me which way to go, Barra. And my constituents now is if I see a picture, I can put it down to Paradoria, or I learn about it and see what I can get from it.
That's it.
It's a normal picture with a lot of pixels can make it look Paradoria as well. and a lot of people do get a bit confused between actual spirits to actual pixelated pareidolia as well. And that's what happens quite a lot in the paranormal field, I think. Personally, I hate it. I get frustrated between when you actually did get something. I was saying this about this a couple of months ago, actually, to other people. We actually caught something up at a friend's room, and I thought, well, this looks a little bit like pareidolia, and we can actually see the white mist coming out the bathroom door and into the slipper, and we were like, that was creepy. And we thought it could be pareidolia, but it wasn't actually pareidolia. It was actually something we did actually caught. So we played a little bit with, see what we can do with it, see what colors we can use, and it kept coming back as a mist. And that mist wasn't really. It was nothing in that mist. We even got my friend to upload on a laptop to actually make sure it wasn't even a bug can cause picture problems. And that's what happens. Pareidolia is one of the biggest things in the paranormal field. You got to really 100% have that known of gut feeling about it, and it causes a lot of eruptions in the paranormal field.
Certainly does. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. I mean, a lot of people you tend to find they don't like it, especially if you turn around and tell them that, their photos. You say to them, look, unfortunately, to me, it's just pareidolia, or to me, it's just an orb, and they tend to just get so frustrated with you and they literally, some of them lose their rags, don't they?
It does. I was one of them, believe it or not. I was one of them, and it took me quite a while. It took a lot of people quite a while to actually confirm it. No, I go 100%. I go double more just to check if my pictures is real. And a lot of people do get upset because they think, I finally caught something, all that hard work, and then someone comes down and says, well, no, I don't really see anything. It's emotion effect on them because they think they actually did. But now, if it's like new beginners, we help them a little bit, support them, and that's one of the biggest annoying things is bring a lot of people down when they hear the other side of it. But I said to them, at the end of the day, you got to think about this, is pareidolia is one of the biggest things in the paranormal field, especially if they think it's not real, especially people who's been doing it for a long time or not been doing it, and they're halfway through it. They give you some really good advices, how to recognize what's real and what's fake, and it helps. It helps them, but it done my head in for quite a while, and then in the end I accepted because I know for a fact then in places it's annoying. It's how pictures work, some pixelated, certain type of phones as well. You got to be careful what type of equipment you get, because many people pay for like massive amount of money. And I said to my wife, I said, the biggest thing about cameras is also the cameras doesn't help what type of pixels you have as well. Like your phone lens, it's one of the biggest interesting because it causes the pixels of pareidolia to happen as well.
It
helps it to divide.
So Gareth Brennan just basically put a comment up saying, he apologizes for bringing up a group, but he's just saying about things that wind him up. But Gareth, would be interested to get you to come onto the live as well, mate, if you fancy coming into the chat room itself, into the actual studio. Follow the link at the bottom that I've pinned at the bottom. Be interested to get you to come on to give me your opinions on, or give us, your opinions on some bits and pieces, equipment-wise and things, because Drew's going to be on for the whole hour. I hope.
I'm on for the whole hour. It's okay. I'm here for the whole hour.
A little bit of an update for you, Drew, because I know it was last minute, but a little bit of an update from you on Loki. How is he?
So Loki, he's 100% better. So today we had some news from the hospital saying he's possibly might be coming home very soon. And basically, obviously, we all know other bits on top of it with Loki, the situation. So we got waiting for just the two people, local authorities and the special nurse, to saying it's all clear to go home, and he should be home by Wednesday, probably Wednesday or something like that.
Sometime this week, hopefully.
Just hopefully, yeah. He was on a really high list, as we say.
Yeah.
So just gotta wait for that permission.
So Gareth just said, where are we? I'd love to, but I've not done my hair, and I don't like being in front of the camera. Thanks, though.
Your hair be fine. Just chuck a hat on.
We can see you in the picture. Look, the green guy in the picture.
I can see him.
So, Drew. So, any pieces of equipment that frustrate you massively?
What really frustrates me, the K2 really frustrate me. It does maximally frustrate me. That's why I don't bother with it sometimes. Or REM pods. It took me a while on this one. Again,
K2, though, Drew. Is that after I told you the other week about your
no,
one?
it was like after it's when I think you frustrated Tila, but Tila's a big sensitive woman when she's a pregnant woman. You gotta basically watch out for the bitchiness, excuse my language. But personally, I actually kind of agree with a lot of things now with the K2. I found it pretty crazy, and it took me a while. I hate the K2 because it always confuses you. Me personally don't believe now anymore that K2 can actually be the best equipment or the personal equipment.
So Lee's just put a comment up, sorry to interrupt, mate, saying that's the best news I've heard about Loki.
Thank you, Lee. That's a lot of respect there for you as well. Cheers. Loki's getting there now. He's coming home, and we just gotta wait, guys. We just gotta wait. Keep your fingers crossed.
So you're saying
they call him the para baby.
That's it, little para baby. So you're saying about the K2 then, mate, about your what frustrates you about the K2?
So basically, when I was doing my researches, and after listening to you, I have to put my foot down in the end and saying people can hold a K2 wherever they want to hold it, okay? And it's personally, it made me realize this is not back in the days where electric wasn't actually running properly. Everywhere we go to, no matter if it's a field or abandoned location, it is always electric around the lines. So I have now lost massively big trust on the K2 because you can't trust a K2 to give you a signal because there's too much EMF in the meter.
Yeah. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, cheers, Nick. When you're using a K2, if you think about it, this is now 2020. We are seeing 5G signals out there, which is a high, massive EMF signals going out there, radiation.
Very close to the frequency of microwave.
So 4G was doing the same, but it was giving out a smaller amount of EMF and radiation. It was giving out a smaller microwave, just like a fixtures. But if you think about it, all around the United Kingdom, we actually got cables running through the earth underneath us for the electric to run as well and above us. So to make that known of connection, yes, anyone can use K2 and you think, oh, amazingly, yeah, that's something if it's on your command. If it's on your command, then I get it. But the way I notice it, every time I spoke or done something, the electric would have been around us. So I was like, right, okay, I'm not really confirmed on K2s now. I'm done with the K2. Yes, we work with a lot of electric around us. And I said to my wife, it's frustrating because you're trying to get something you really want to get to show the audience, but you just got to wait and wait until you get actual something happen. So this is why Tila has been named like on radio shows from Pembrokeshire, Poor West radio show. They basically announced her as the queen, the scram queen, because every time we done an investigation, we always made sure our hands are full, and we always made sure that even in camera view, she would have got a scram from somewhere above here, her face, her hair, her headline, or somewhere on part of the body, except for these personal parts.
Yeah.
But we all actually do show.
We all have them, Drew. Come on.
Say again?
We all have them. Come on.
Yeah, we got them. Boom, boom.
That's it.
But yeah, but that's why a radio show called it like the Scram Queen, because every time we've done an experiment, the K2 come off, and I was like, nah, this is not real. I got to do something to prove that K2 was telling the truth, or to believe it's happening. Even being a spiritualist, I'd rather chuck my spiritualist to my side and do my work in the paranormal to prove that evidence stronger and harder. So how I prove that is by moving the K2 and see if they can actually do something to a human being. I know that's cruel, but that's an actual strong evidence for me, especially if it's screaming in front of you or on camera. We got something to slap on, then, if you get what I mean. We got something there. The K2 is, I don't trust it anymore. I'm done with K2.
That's it. So just going away from the subject very quickly now. So anybody who's in the chat, if they can possibly share out this feed on their personal profiles, onto their pages, onto their groups, start your watch parties, and also at the bottom of the feed you should see a notification bar. So if you click the notifications, you'll get that notification every time I go live. When I'm using this service, I'm going to be setting up the live about 10 minutes before the actual program comes on, and then you'll see the initial screen that you saw first of all with the cartoon version of me, and about 10 minutes 10 minutes after that I'll be online. So it'd be interesting to get Nicole on the live as well. So Nicole, if you want to come on the live at all, follow the link that I've pinned at the bottom of the chat, and you, by all means, you're more than welcome if you want to come in and have a chinwag with us as well.
Come on to the page. Sorry, you look beautiful today.
As I say, if anybody wants to come in, follow the link at the bottom, and we can bring you in for a few minutes and have a chinwag with you with regards to any equipment or any processes or anything in the field that frustrates you. But as I say, this isn't about berating teams or specific people. It's more about just putting out there anything that frustrates you in the field, as I say, whether, as I say, again, it's equipment, whether it's processes, whether it's programs or what. So, and at the moment we are live not just on Facebook, we're also live on YouTube as well. So we are live over on my YouTube channel. So any of the comments on YouTube, while it's going live, we can actually see on here as well. So pretty much everything's on Facebook at the moment. I don't seem to have anybody following on. There we go. You can see there we're live on YouTube. So
can you do me a favor? Can you share it out to all the pages I know? Are you already done it, Beer? Oh, brilliant. Cheers, babe.
Thank you very much, Lee. So as I say, make sure you press the notification button at the bottom of the screen, bottom of your chat, and I put it on the bottom of the you can see it scrolling across there to follow Drew on Facebook. It's Paranormal Postmortem is his team. So the other thing I tend to find that I have a big bugbear for is cat balls.
Oh.
I see all these groups using cat balls, and I do not understand why on earth they seem to think that the cat balls are picking up. I mean, they seem to flash at all random times, and you know, never specifically to come, you know, on command. And I'm just not sure what on earth people are seeing using this 99p cat ball. I mean, great if they get on command every single time, brilliant. But it just seems to be like just another little cheap thing that they can be sticking on the floor or stick on a surface. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's like everybody seems to be so amazed by it all the time. I don't understand. Don't understand whatsoever.
Cat balls.
What's your thoughts on
cat balls? Are really interesting because I've seen people bring cat balls on investigations, and well, I don't really trust much on cat balls as well because they look like they could be rigged. Even on a shown side, it really does look like it's going to be rigged. Personally, cat balls I don't really use much. Because due to the fact I've seen a lot of paranormal investigations happening, but it's a toy. It's for a cat. I can't trust it. I can't trust anything like it can move for an animal. A single wind blow probably might set it off. I never tried them, but I have seen them. I give it a look at. But I said to my wife wants to give them a try, obviously, because you know technology in my team is kind of really important to on some of them. And I find like too much technology cannot be really good for me, because it it's not about proving, it's about what they might done or how did someone set it up. You know, and couples are the worst ones, I gotta admit, I will say, because a simple wind blow could actually set them off. I just don't trust them.
When I've seen them being used, I tend to notice that. I mean, I've seen them in real life, and I've actually watched some people using them, and I see they'll put a couple down, and then one will go off randomly, but then the rest of them are near it, and they don't go off, and it's just a bit strange how. I mean, to me, the whole idea behind a cat ball is the cat goes. You turn it on, the cat goes over to it, hits it, and it flashes. It rolls around, it flashes lights, and the cat gets, the cat or small dog or whatever's going to be playing with it, it is getting stimulated because of the lights flashing, and it goes over. If I chuck a piece of paper on the floor screwed up for my cats, and they go nuts for hours with it, just because they're knocking it around, and by seeing the flashing lights on it, they stimulates them. It makes them want to do it more. Do you know what I mean?
It does. It's the light flashing in their eyes. Anything attracts them with like light flashing or laser lights, they get addicted to it. Simple as. So if you take it out on the streets, like again, investigation, strange cat will come up and hit it. You might not see that strange cat hit it.
But when you're in a more confined space, a controlled area, whether it's an abandoned building or whatever, I mean, that's the thing. One of the things is, I mean, it could be just down to, especially abandoned buildings. Abandoned buildings themselves, old, very that bit older buildings, and they could have floorboards which, when you stand on one of them, it causes a vibration in another area, and it means it just randomly that's what sets the ball off, or
it just literally
now
that vibration, really.
Same with all equipment, though. You do tend to have to. I tend to, for me, you have to test equipment. Now, a lot of people don't like apps, and I mean, Trisha, who was going to be coming on tonight as well, but unfortunately, she's had a load of personal stuff to deal with today, because obviously she's just become a grandma as well.
A grandma as well.
She obviously the little one's at home with her. Her daughter's at home with her as well. So she's dealing with helping her out. And the thing is, Trisha said to me about different things, like she can't stand apps, for example. So she doesn't like apps.
Can she not stand?
She doesn't like apps, phone apps.
Apps. Yeah, a lot of people do seem to use it, because I used it, and not really good.
I use phone apps all the time, but the thing for me is I work on the principle of it's best to test them. So if you test them out, then keep testing things. It's the same with all equipment, no matter what, whether it's that. I mean, I've got.
Can I come back to you 1 minute? I'm just going to pop at the door.
Yes, mate, no problem.
1 minute, guys. Sorry. I do apologize.
So while Drew's just nipping off, I mean, what I've got in my hand here is a laser pen, a laser grid. So if I just show, this is a bit of a different one, this one, so you can probably see behind me, see the laser. This one's a rechargeable one on little homemade stand. So if anybody else is, just a reminder, if anybody else is interested, come on. Nicole, it would be great to have you on if you are free and you fancy coming on and joining us for a chinwag. Even Lee, if you fancy coming on, let us know. Everything all right, buddy?
Yeah, I got people knocking the door. That's all. When you live in the shared condition, we all get on with each other. We're pretty good, yeah.
Nicole just said, I'm not really up to it. Sorry, guys. I'm worried about my mum. She hasn't up. That's no problem, Nicole. I hope your mum is okay. I know the feeling with regards to family, especially my mum herself. She has not long, obviously, been through cancer treatment, and she has Parkinson's, so she's very vulnerable. So I know that same feeling. So I check in with her regularly just to make sure that everything's all right. So I don't know if we're going to get anybody coming in to have a chinwag with us, Drew.
We got to get someone. We got to get someone on here. Just have a bit of chinwag about paranormal stuff.
That's it.
And, the ParaSlam.
So, any other bits of equipment that frustrate you at all?
Spirit box in certain places. Even I do like them in a way, but in certain places, the when you have now spirit box and phone apps, certain phone apps and spirit box,
When you
The
say
reason why I'm
spirit
saying these,
do you mean what? Do you mean specific ones? Because you've got so many different types of spirit box.
okay, I can't remember all the names for some of them. The ones that speak in a different language, like Latin, basically, or the ones like oh, what's that box name? I'm usually good remembering all the spirit box name, but I'm not
Do you mean,
dissing Owen, the
do you
guy
mean like the
name. I
necrophonic
can't say
and
his
things
name.
like that?
Say again.
Do you mean like the apps, the necrophonic app and things?
You got some of the apps, and then you got an actual spirit box, like Steven something. His last name I can't remember with a H. Huff, yeah, is one of the spirit box he made. And it's sound by. I'm not distant on him. I'm sorry to mention his name. I apologize.
Are you on about Are you on about the cultist box?
Yeah, the big boxes, the ones who really, the ones who really like after echoing, and then some of them speak in a different, like echo box. Basically, they speak in a different language. Some of them speak in a different language. Some of them doesn't.
Yeah.
Nicole, that's
what
bugs me.
I'm sorry to hear that you, obviously, with regards to the skin cancer of your mum. Your mum, obviously, sending our love to your mum, and to yourself as well. So Nicole's just posted. Are you talking about Steve Huff?
Yeah, not talking about him. Talking about the box.
Hello, Ben Winfield, just coming on there. So Ben,
hey, Ben.
Obviously, as you just come on, just to let you know. So what we're doing, ParaSlam, it's I'm bringing people on. Drew's here tonight for the hour, and then any guests who come in as well, they can come in. If you follow the link that's pinned at the bottom of the chat, if you want to come in and have a chinwag with regards to bits of equipment or TV shows or anything, with exception of teams and people that frustrate you in the industry. So you're more than welcome. If you want to come on and have a chinwag, click on the link at the bottom and follow the processes and come and have a bit of a gas bag with us. So I'm just sharing the post out as well myself. So we were talking about the portal that Steve Huff does.
Yeah, and then it's like other portals where I'm talking about where they speak in Latin or in different fairy language. I've been dealing a lot because I've been experimenting on the quiet side with no Facebook, no live, because Paranormal Postman, we work on live sometimes, but sometimes we work on the quiet side as well. We look into things where when I use, this is how badly I get with like any spirit box that speaks in Latin. I understand Latin, fair point to it, but when we're using it, we're not catching the words we want to use.
Yeah.
So do you know where I'm coming from on this one? I hope some of you guys are not getting too confused.
Yeah, definitely understand exactly what you're talking about.
They basically, a lot of people are mixing up words just to help the spirit world, but it doesn't really help the public to know if they got something on the spirit box, if they're using like mixed words, mixed language.
Yeah.
Or it's not really. That's how much frustration I got because I can't even explain it because it annoys me so much.
Yeah.
With that type of technology, when you actually investigation, yes, you can learn about that like everyone else can. You can learn about it, but it gets in my head because they think, oh, this might help, but really it doesn't. People say, "Oh, Drew, I've literally gone at this one." People spend the apps.
Gareth Brennan's just saying, I've got to go. Interesting watch. Catch up with you soon, Dan. Yeah, thank you very much, Gareth. Cheers, buddy. I hope obviously
Gareth, bye-bye, man.
He's out on the front line driving bits and pieces to and from places. So thanks very much, Gareth, for coming on and having a watch. Let us know next Monday night if you're free, mate, and we'll get you on. Ben Butterworth saying A up. So hi, Ben. There you go, Ben. Just so you're aware, if you are interested in coming on and having a gas bag with myself and Drew with regards to any bits and pieces in the paranormal industry, except for teams and people, we're not discussing teams and people. We're just so maybe processes that different teams do, things that that frustrate us in the industry. But as I say, we're not discussing teams and people. Where I go, Nicole Pope says she shared on Paranormal Postmortem Oz. Gareth Brennan says also great news about Loki. All the best. There you go.
Cheers. Thank you for that, Gareth.
There we go. Ben Winfield's just come up with a comment as well. Problem is you can have 8+ different language through the boxes. That's very true, Ben. That's very true.
Ben, I got to quickly explain about Ben. Ben is one of the demonologists I was telling about ages ago. He studied it for quite a while, 10 years in the class.
Let's get that correct, Drew. Not dermatologist, demonologist.
Did I say dermatologist?
It sounded like you said dermatologist, yeah. So
no, dermatologist. Oh my days, my words are messed up bigly today.
Hello,
big. Oh my days.
Not a dermatologist, no.
It's lucky what I didn't say on the radio to thousands of people. I mean, I said I was nice to have instead bond. It's bondage.
Instead, Drew, on here, I've got 12,250 people on my page, and you said it to them instead.
That's okay. I'm happy to say it to them.
There we go.
Most of them are adults. It's okay.
Just going back to what Ben was saying there. So yeah, you can have up to 8+ different languages through the boxes. That's one of the things I also find with spirit boxes is a lot of people, they not just listen to the actual words that are coming through. They tend to listen to they tend to automatically put the fact that it's a female voice they're hearing coming through, instead of bearing in mind that you're asking spirit to manipulate the box and bring forward words or a phrase or sentence or anything like that, and instead taking into account that, okay, it might be a female voice coming through or a male voice, but you're talking to a specific spirit. You're asking them to manipulate the voices coming through the spirit box. So it's not necessarily female or male. It can be one. It can you're talking to, if you've had the name Steve come through initially, you're talking to Steve, which is a male. A female voice could come through and say yes when you've asked outright, but you're asking Steve then to manipulate that box and that spirit box, that device. So a lot of people don't seem to take that on board as well. So
no, they don't seem to take it on top of the courses, and that's why we investigate.
There we go. So there we got Leah there just saying hello to us.
Hello.
And Ben's having a good laugh. He's been saying it from the start, Ben Winfield. So Ben, you're no longer a demonologist, you're a dermatologist. There you go. Right, we've actually got Ben in the studio, so I'm going to bring Ben on board. There we go.
Oh,
Drew.
God, that's weird. Sorry, it's the first time I've ever done anything like this.
You know what it's like. You know what it's like for my language in this past time. Oh my God. See what I mean?
Very quickly, before we start there, Ben, Trisha Walters was going to be coming on tonight, but as I say, Trisha...
I can drop off. I don't mind dropping off.
So, no, don't worry. Trisha was going to be coming on. Drew jumped in last minute to cover because... Trisha had some family stuff to sort out. Hi, Julie Pope. She just said hi, Drew. There we go. So we have on the live now with us to have a chat. We have Ben, the dermatologist.
Yeah, he's
So
I don't know if it's a Welsh accent or not, but he's something me and my missus have been laughing about for a while.
So Ben, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, where to start? I have been doing cultology demonologist since I started doing religious studies at 14. I'm now 30.
Okay.
Recognised by quite a few churches, the Russian Orthodox Church in England. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, the Catholic Church had to recognise me at one point, which they really didn't like. The Church of England's recognised me as well. The Jewish community has recognised me, and the Muslim community has recognised me.
Okay, cool. One thing a lot of people don't realise about me, actually, is I don't really say anything, but I actually got signed up and became an ordained minister with the Church of Life in America.
That's pretty cool.
So a lot of people don't realise that about me. So there we go. Trisha's saying she won't be able to come on as the baby's not settling. That's fine, Trisha. No worries. Chat away here. And we've got Dawn Marie Couch. She's come on saying hello from Peoria, Illinois, lead investigator for Ghost Tech Illinois team. Hello. Thank you very much for coming on. So
hello.
Just a quick one before we go any further with Ben at the moment. So if anybody's coming on now, at the bottom of the chat, you'll see the link if you want to come on, like Ben has. Other than that, if you want to hit notifications, share this about, start your watch parties like everybody else says, and thank you. So Ben, what sort of things do you tend to find that frustrate you in the industry? Obviously, just reiterating, we're not talking about teams or people directly.
Yeah, that's fine. One of the biggest problems I have is a lot of these demonology courses that people do.
Yeah, do a course and you're automatically a demonologist.
Yeah, some of the courses I've looked at over the years, they do have points that are good, but some of them, they put people in a lot of danger. I've seen people go to hospital because someone's done a course and assume this is the right thing to do and give them something they've had an allergic reaction to.
Yeah. I found numerous times though, there's so many people you see on these groups, and somebody puts a photograph up, and going back to the pareidolia side that Drew and I were talking about at the beginning, and they first of all, somebody turns around and says, "It's a demon you have in your house." It's like,
yeah,
it's as usual. I'm sorry, but I got to laugh at that one. They all say it's usually a demon.
We basically have a set of laws, a group I belong to, that is basically, this is how it is. The first thing you do is you turn up, check for environmental. Is it leaky pipes? Is it any of this? Is it that? Second of all is medical.
That's the first thing you should be doing, is checking baselines, isn't it?
Yeah. And then the second thing is medical. Do they have a medical issue? Is there any medical issues that are causing the problem, first off?
Yeah.
That was the first thing we asked.
That's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. This day and age, you can't help but a lot of different people have.
The usual with the medical stuff, though, is usually a psychological or mindfulness after using this sort of stuff. So, and I know what that feeling means.
I never name names, but one of the most famous cases we had was going to an event. And I've got to move because the boss lady's coming to leave.
Just saying hi to Roddy Woodman, and just a very quick one here. Trisha's put up a comment on there with regards to the courses, saying they are a rip-off. To be honest, I mean, I don't necessarily think. I think that the courses are good in some respects, but it depends on how you go about using them yourself and what you want to gain from them. I did a parapsychology, one of these parapsychology courses, but that doesn't mean I'm a parapsychologist. That's all it means, is that I've gone through and done a course, answered some questions and got them right.
You've done a course with basics.
Yeah, and that's it. So you're saying about the rules that you have.
Yeah, it's basically they're the first things you check. You check health situations, the people situations. Not to name any name, I think I've told you this story, Drew. We had a case here I live in Derby in the UK.
Yeah.
I had a case in Matlock of an elderly woman who claimed that a medium had been round and told her she had a demon in the house.
Okay.
So we went round. She'd been hearing all this screaming and banging and stuff. Won't go into the full details, but the old lady was in her 80s.
Yeah.
Her next door neighbours were in their early 20s. A young man and a young lass.
Yeah.
I think you can gather what the yeah.
Yeah. It was rabbit.
The gentleman that had been round had done his course on the internet and had told her it was this, and she'd panicked.
Yeah.
This is the problem. The courses are brilliant for introducing you to stuff.
Yeah.
However, I wouldn't.
No.
I'd do your own research after.
That's it. But that's exactly what Trish is just saying. That gets her back up, because telling people to have a demon without knowing their mental and emotional states could have a detrimental effect. Exactly, Trish. That's exactly what we're talking about there.
Can I say something very quickly? Cool. There's no mention, no teams or anything. A lot of people seem to, when they go into a house, they think straight away, let's do the investigation and let's get down to the point of what can they work out the spirits. Out instead of doing normal checks, mentally, emotionally, a lot of things have been a lot of words, usually demons. Correct, isn't it, Ben?
That's it.
So we kind of like what we decided to do. We after the last case we had very many years back now, we learned a very hardcore lesson, and if we get told it's apparently a negative spirit in the house or something, we actually get like burnout or someone who's qualified in certain things now, because we put like a really hardcore force on things.
Yeah.
So when we do an investigation, we have fun with it. But also, if it's someone saying, "Hey, we got a demon in the house," so a negative spirit, we'll get the right people in so we can cover that area.
That's
so
it.
Then,
that's it.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
You need to be able to trust the people you're bringing in to help them as well. So
yeah,
there is a very somewhat of a thin line between a demonic and an aggressive negative spirit. There's that very thin line. A lot of people instantly say, "Oh, it's a demon," but it instantly portrays the, "Oh God, what is it?"
I've been working on this theory for a long time that that people talk about poltergeists and demons and things, and to me, I actually don't believe that the spirit themselves is the poltergeist, or the spirit themselves is the thing that is got all that energy there that's going to be throwing things around, things like that. I believe that we, the people who are actually in that space to start with, are the ones that are actually the poltergeist as such, for example, because the energies that we're giving off, if we're giving off negative energies all the time, or you're in that negative space all the time, you know, that energy is what the spirit potentially could feed off of, and that's what's causing it to be. So we are actually the poltergeist. I always remember we talk about God bless him, John Humphreys, who rest his soul, from the Ram Inn in Gloucestershire, back where I'm from, and he always used to talk about having a incubus in the place. Now, I found that the moment John was taken away from the building, the energies, everything dropped into place completely, because I personally believe that it was him, it was his energies, it was his, not saying he was negative, but it was just everything that he was putting into, because he was going into the states of closer to dementia and things like that, that what he was putting into the building was giving back. Do you know what I'm saying?
You can have what's known in the cultology field. It's called environmental printing.
That's it.
So if you go in with a negative feeling, you will imprint on that place as being a negative place. It's the same as like, say something happens to your child, you fall in a pool, you get scared of the pool, you're forever scared of a pool. You always have a negative imprint on pools.
Yeah.
It is known to happen. Like the funny thing is, in most like demonic cases, stuff like that, have always involved children. Yeah. The reason is children have full extent of their abilities.
That's it. They're open to free will, aren't they?
Yeah. Completely. So it's been known for them to cause a lot of poltergeist activity, because you never seem to. The weird thing is, it never happens to someone who's in their like early 20s. It usually happens when there's children around, or the person has started studying such and such, or they've watched a film and their minds have rolled and rolled and rolled and rolled.
That's it. I mean, the other thing I find as well is Ouija boards. My God. So the people playing with Ouija boards, I mean, I see people using them, and they're just holding on to the planchette, and I mean, then they're spinning it around and around and around and around like this, trying to say they're building up energies. And it's like, seriously, you know, you can physically see potentially some, not saying they are 100%, but it looks to me like a lot of the time like somebody is moving it, you know, spinning it around on the board itself. How is that bringing up energies? Do you know what I'm saying? And a lot of them also.
Have you ever? Sorry to butt in rudely with you.
That's fine, buddy.
But have you ever heard like you I guess all of you heard of Tai Chi, haven't you?
Yes.
How do they do it with Tai Chi? It's energy, yeah. They build from chi. So when you're doing a Ouija board, now a Ouija board is a party board. I call it a party board. I've proven a lot of people in certain things about the Ouija board. In my personal use, I agree with you. yes, okay, we spin it around. Is our mind playing psychologically?
Yeah.
Is our mind playing tricks on us? So I use mentality on it.
Yeah. But a lot
And
of
this
people.
is the best way.
Go on, mate. Go on.
This is the best way I do it. To learn
I
the
feel left
style
out
of
now.
Did I do something
Sorry,
again,
Joe.
didn't I?
That's it, man. The thing is, what gets me the most is when you go on, when I go on some events with people and I join up with people, especially, you know, other teams and other events and things. I always find that if you ask the question to them, do you understand where a Ouija board comes from? Do you understand the background of a Ouija board?
Yeah.
Their first answer is, yeah, it's Victorian times, and that's it.
No one actually knows where they came from.
No, but the thing was, what a lot of people don't realise is that what the word means itself. When I'm, this is the great thing about some of the people I work with a lot is, especially the girls at the Paranormal Sisters and the Charity Warriors I work with, because Sam Bennett's the medium. The great thing about Sam is that she does know a lot of history, and she on every single event that public are with, she always makes sure that the history is told that she knows of with regards to the Ouija board. You know, a lot of people don't realise the word Ouija is actually two words. Yes, yeah, and it means yes, yes in two different. So the first bit is we, which is French for yes. Ja is yes in German, so it's yes, yes board. That's.
I was saying this the other day.
A lot of people don't realise that it goes right back to ancient Japanese times, you know, back to the 10th dynasty. They were even using them then. They were even using them back when the Egyptians, you know, when the pharaohs ruled Egypt. They were using them, and then, but they became more commonplace in Victorian times when they used them as a talking. You know, they used them as an aid to allow a couple to be able to touch each other in a more intimate manner. So they put them between one would sit down one side of the board, the other would sit down the other side. They'd move the planchette or the glass around just to rub the inside of the leg of the other person. So a lot of people don't realize that those sorts of things, you know, it wasn't necessarily to talk to spirit, but then people realized in Victorian times that they could they potentially were speaking to something else. And this is what it frustrates me somewhat chronic is people don't understand in the bits and pieces of equipment that they use. That's one of the biggest bugbears I have. If you're going to use, say, I only keep picking up this because it's what I've got sitting behind me. But if you're going to use a laser grid, understand what you're using it for. If you're going to use a stickman setup, understand what it is. It's not an SLS camera for one thing. You know, we were chatting about cat balls, weren't we, Drew? And,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Trisha knows what I think of cat balls. Oh my God, can't stand them. You know, it's so you Ben, we interrupted what you were when you were saying with regards to you know, the rules and things that you're talking about and demonology courses. We kind of didn't.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Me and Drew usually end up talking business, and then end up just yammering on anyway.
It's pretty much what this is. It's more a bit, you know, for people to come on and have a bit of a chin wag and you know, say their piece. That's what we call it, ParaSlam. Slam you know,
all in it for the same reason. This is something I stepped out of all this for a couple of years. Drew's the one that dragged me back, along with my partner in crime who sat next to me. I stepped away from it all because when I was first in all the paranormal stuff, there was a lot more politics going on.
That's it.
Nowadays, there's still a bit of politics, but more people have come together, like such as yourselves. Two different people from two different corners of the world. Everyone's come together now.
That's it.
And it makes everything a lot easier.
Trisha just saying, yep, they're cat balls, not spirit balls.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. People calling them spirit balls, you know.
Why do they call them spirit balls? This is what I don't get. Why do they call them?
Uses them.
That's the thing. If I used to have a shop on eBay a few years back, this was, and I used to sell different items on eBay. Now, if we took a voice recorder, one of these cheap little voice recorders, and you put it on eBay and you put the word paranormal or ghost hunting next to it, people search for ghost hunting equipment or paranormal equipment, not for voice recorder, you see. So if you take a pack of cat balls, they cost you £1 at Poundland, say, and for the 3 of them, and you put them on eBay and you call them spirit balls, you can sell them for £9.99.
Yeah.
So that's basically why they call them spirit balls, because what they've done is they've purchased them off of Amazon or eBay or something, and somebody's called them spirit balls.
I have to say
It's
one
not
thing
bloody
though, and you're probably going to
coconut
hate
water,
me for this.
Go on.
It's my house is very active, and we do have a cat ball that does randomly go off.
That's the thing, though, is that I don't understand. One of the things with them, I find that I'm not sure whether they are set. They have because they have a chip inside on the little circuit board. There's a chip, and I'm not sure whether that does have a random timer built into it. You know, but nobody knows. That's the thing.
The difference is when you suddenly see the ball start rolling by itself and it goes off. There's a bit of a difference for it just being sat there and going off.
Yeah, if it just starts rolling, obviously different kettle of fish there. So talking about there, Louisa Brown has just put, we have a Sprite that likes to play with a cat ball. Got it from a pet shop.
Yeah.
Do you mean Sprite or do you mean Spirit, Louisa? I think
no, it's Sprite.
Sprite. Oh, is Louisa?
Hey, sweetie.
That would be the boss lady.
Just be careful. She throws knives. She's really cruel.
Yeah, when you've got a demonologist and the partner who's starting to learn more stuff, and you both reenactors as well, you can imagine sort of what not arguments, but shall we say playful banter gets around the house when things get thrown.
It's deadly.
As Drew's seen a few times where an axe has randomly appeared in the shot.
I can imagine Teela's rather like that with Drew, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, they know what Teela's like. They know what Teela's like. I will let you get lunch.
So we're running a little bit out of time. We've got a couple of minutes, but Trisha's just put that gets on my nerves with voice recorders and laser pens thermometers. They label them for ghost hunting and the price is ridiculous. Yeah. I used to do it. I put my hand up and say when eBay shops for selling equipment first started 6-7 years ago, you know, I did have things on there and I was selling them. I was importing them in, putting them on those ghost hunting equipment or paranormal equipment, and people were buying them for that reason. You know, you can just go on there and you can find exactly the same thing for about a third of the price, if not cheaper sometimes. You know, so but I stopped when I realized it was just getting silly, you know, so I stopped selling altogether.
It really bugs me when people puts a name in front of it, definite, and then they think, oh, because it's a paranormal equipment, they basically use it as a profit money. They do it. When I was living in Business Wales, if you got something yourself and you used it once in something like in paranormal, to say, for instance, the spirit cards, but they're paranormal cards. Next minute, they put a price on it. This is what I hate a lot. So I say to everyone, instead of going crazy with the word paranormal and looking for paranormal equipment, spending thousands of £1,000 because it's ridiculous, I just tell people, all you need to do is get the actual name off the label, what it actually calls. If there's no label on it, we'll give you the name. Because it's cheaper, but this is what bugs me. People need to stop actually. I'm sorry, but you actually can hear my voice. It is utterly stupid for what they're doing, putting paranormal or ghost hunting equipment on it.
I just had Joanne, the Charity Warriors and the Paranormal Sisters, message me, and she asked me, because I shared the stream to their page, and she sent me a message asking me if it was me, because obviously the name of the page is still waiting to be changed by Facebook after the page was stolen last weekend. So since I've got it back, I've not been able to change the name until last night. I put the request in last night, so I'm waiting for that to be done. Hopefully tonight it'll be changed back to Dan Litchfield Ghost Hunter instead of Dan Hunter. So it doesn't. So and straight off she said, FFS. We all know what that means. Dan, you need to teach us how to do that live thing with everyone. So I'm probably going to get an ear bashing for not telling them what to do with that in a minute. So basically now we're going to wrap it up a bit now. So Nicole's just basically said people use the name paranormal to make money. Exactly, Nicole. And Louisa says they do. It's crazy. Now, next week, I'm hoping on Monday next week that I can get Trisha on for the hour with me. And fingers crossed. For a bit more notice. If not, I was also hoping that I could get Leanne, who people have seen me on YouTube videos when I've been live in the past. Leanne's been out with me. Leanne's not actively in the paranormal world. She just has an interest. She was somebody who came onto my lives, and she used to watch my lives, and we became friends, and we're very close. She's like a little sister. So hopefully Leanne might be on as well at some point soon. But we're going to try and do this every single Monday night. And Ben, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
Drew, thank you for coming on for the hour as well. But it's now 9 o'clock, so everybody's probably going to end up migrating now over to some of the big boys. So we'll call it a night. And I'll just say thanks very much for coming on again. And if we can share it all out, share the page, invite all your friends. Ben, have you got a page or a group you want to plug?
I'm working through Drew at the minute.
Okay,
Drew and another group.
On the banner, it's group's page name, and it also says it. No, that way, just there as well for me. There. So yeah, Paranormal Postmortem, and you've got an Australian page as well, Paranormal Postmortem Oz, haven't you? Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
It's gonna be the Australian page now, which we're showing out for Paranormal Oz. Everything's linked into Paranormal Postmortem, so we're linking all of it back up. So all the other pages like Cornwall and Bristol page, we're shutting them down and then bringing everyone over to Paranormal Postmortem. All the team, people I work with, like Ben, his missus, other people as well. They will have a
dermatologist, yeah?
Yeah, the dermatologist.
Dermatologist.
Demontologist, as I say. Nah, demontologists are deep and dumb enough. I can't say it now.
So during the day,
I said it once before.
During the day, Ben deals with people with skin conditions.
Yeah.
I need that sorted out very soon, actually.
So you're merging them all into one now, are you, Drew?
Yeah. My decision is, I was speaking to Taylor, and Cornwall has been absolutely building up by itself. We're quite amazed actually how well Cornwall is. So we're having a little meet and review with the team very shortly, and all this sadness news we're going through at the moment. But I have heard the numbers are dropping. So by the 3rd, with all the situation. So hopefully we get back out there, all of us will one day. Can't wait. Cool. Keep your fingers crossed, guys. We'll all be back out there.
Awesome, yeah. Fingers crossed. Everybody who's watched, and everybody, and you guys as well, Ben, Drew, and obviously your partners, Tila and Louisa. Stay safe, and I hope, obviously, Loki gets home sometime this week. Give me a call and let me know, Drew. All right,
I will, brother. And hi, Lisa Harris as well. Sorry, I gotta say hi to her because she's going through a rough time. So
no worries, buddy.
Just want to give a hi to her.
We'll call it there and say goodnight, and I'll be back on here tomorrow night for a Q&A, and if there's anybody who's watching and wants to come on, we'll go from there. So see you soon, guys.
I think I'll pick on your Q&A. I'll pick on you in the Q&A.
That's it. Trisha just said better off, Drew. I closed some groups and temporarily closed as a company, and it's easier. So much easier if you're on if you're if you're doing it with one thing. So cheers, guys. Thank you again for coming on.
Chris. See you later.
Pleasure.
See you soon, all right?
All right. Bye-bye, Dan.
Good night, guys.
See you later.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Right. So thank you very much for everybody who's come on and listened. I shall see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. The live will start at 10 to 8 for a bit of Q&A. So if anybody's got any questions, feel free to come on. You're more than welcome to come on and have a chinwag. Pop over and to the Spooks clothing page as well if you're interested in buying any bits and pieces and just having a little butchers. And I shall see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Thank you, guys.